Have you ever been just one step away from returning to your job in the United States, only to have that hope suddenly slip through your fingers? Imagine being on a plane, ticket in hand, just hours away from rejoining your team, paying your bills, living the life you and your family planned, and then getting a message that your visa interview is canceled, weeks or months later. That shock, that sense of helplessness, that fear of the unknown, that's exactly what many H-1B and H-4 workers and families are experiencing right now because of a new U.S. policy change that's sweeping across visa processing and halting dreams in their tracks. The Times of India. This is real. This is happening now. And if you or someone you love is waiting for a U.S. visa, stay with me, because what I'm going to explain could change how you navigate your path to working and living in America. Today, we're talking about the expanded social media vetting rules, the delays in H-1B and H-4 visa interviews, and the reports of tens of thousands of visa revocations under the Trump administration's stricter immigration posture. Hindustan Times +1. Let's break this down clearly, step by step, so you understand what's going on, what it means for you, and what you can do next. First, let's set the scene with something most people already know. The H-1B visa has long been a gateway for skilled professionals, especially from India, to work in the U.S. in technology, engineering, healthcare, and other specialty occupations. Every year, tens of thousands of these visas are issued, and Indian nationals make up a large portion. Some estimates say over 70% of applicants in this category. Reddit. So when something changes in this process, it doesn't just affect a handful of people. It affects entire families, entire careers, and entire communities that depend on this pathway for opportunity and stability. Now here's the key change you need to understand. As of December 15th, 2025, the U.S. State Department has expanded social media vetting to include not only students and exchange visitors, which was already the case, but now also H-1B workers and their H-4 dependent family members. The Economic Times previously, this kind of online presence review was mainly done for student visas and cultural exchange visitors. Now, consular officers will look at your social media accounts, your public posts, your connections, your online footprint as part of the visa screening process before even granting an interview. Williams-Mullen. What does that mean in practice? It means every social network profile you've ever used, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and more, can now be examined to see whether there's anything that might raise concerns about public safety, national security, or eligibility under U.S. immigration law. Visa Verge. Some travelers have reported that they've already been asked to set their profiles to public so the consular officers can review them. Reddit. The stated goal from the U.S. government is that this vetting is meant to strengthen national security by giving officials more information about who is entering the country. But for many applicants and families, the rollout has come with delays, rescheduled interviews, undue stress, and uncertainty. The Times of India. Let's talk about what's happening on the ground. Thousands of H-1B and H-4 visa interviews that were scheduled for mid to late December 2025, right around the holidays, were suddenly canceled or rescheduled, often as far out as March or even June 2026. Visa Verge. Imagine you had booked your trip back to the United States to start work, to renew your visa, to join your family, and suddenly you get an email saying, your appointment has been moved months later. That's not just inconvenience. For many, it means being stuck in their home country, far from their job and their income, potentially without a clear timeline of when they can return. The Economic Times. And in a lot of cases, consulates have made it clear, if you show up on the old appointment date, you won't even be allowed to enter the consulate. Good returns. This kind of disruption can have ripple effects. Employers may not be able to hold jobs open indefinitely. Paychecks may stop. Projects may stall. families feel the financial and emotional strain. It's a real-time crisis for many people right now. Business Standard. Now, you might also have seen news reports, including from outlets like NDTV, suggesting that 85,000 visas have been revoked as part of an immigration crackdown under the Trump administration. www.dtv.com. Let me explain those reports carefully. What's being described in some media coverage is that the State Department, in its broader enforcement and security posture, has revoked or canceled visas for tens of thousands of people, citing public safety concerns. www.ndtv.com. This is separate from, but connected to, the same stricter vetting philosophy that's now affecting H-1B and H-4 applicants. The government is taking a harder line on immigration compliance, security screening, and eligibility criteria than we've seen in recent years. Whether this is framed as a revocation, meaning a visa that was already issued is taken back, or as part of broader processing changes, the effect is the same. Many people are seeing their status upended or delayed at a time they least expected it. www.ndtv.com. But here's an important point. I want you to understand clearly. Even though headlines may sound dramatic, the core reason behind both the vetting expansion and the reported revocations is rooted in U.S. immigration law and policy that gives consular officers broad discretion to review eligibility and deny or revoke visas based on concerns about admissibility, security, and compliance. That means, while this situation is extremely stressful, it doesn't mean there's no path forward. It just means being well-informed, prepared, and strategic. So let's focus on what you can do if you're in this situation or preparing for a visa. First, monitor your communications every single day. Check your email and your CEAC account for notifications about rescheduling or additional requirements. Missing a message could mean missing a new appointment date. Visa Verge. Second, if you have been told to make your social media profiles public for review, do so carefully. Make sure there's nothing on your profiles that could be misinterpreted, and document the changes you make. Visa Verge. Third, consider consulting an immigration attorney if you haven't already, especially if your job, family, or long-term plans depend on timely visa issuance. Fourth, be cautious about international travel. If your interview is rescheduled far out, avoid booking non-refundable trips that could leave you stranded. And finally, stay informed about policy updates. This isn't a static situation. U.S. immigration policy can change, and understanding the landscape helps you plan and adapt. It's also worth noting that these expansions in social media vetting are not limited to H-1B visas. In fact, the Trump administration's approach now includes expanded vetting for many categories of travelers, including tourists from visa waiver program countries, requiring social media disclosure and more detailed personal information before travel authorization is granted. Reuters. So even if you're not directly affected today, this shift signals a broader trend toward more intensive screening. I know this may feel overwhelming. I know the waiting, the uncertainty, feels unfair. I know it raises questions like, will I ever make it back? Will I lose my job? What does this mean for my family? Those concerns are real, but the best response isn't panic. It's knowledge, preparation, and action. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Breaking down complicated changes into simple, understandable steps so you can make informed decisions with confidence. Remember, immigration rules affect millions of people worldwide, but they don't have to define your future. With the right strategy and legal guidance, you can navigate even the toughest policy shifts. Thank you for watching this update from Legal Focus USA. If you found this explanation helpful, please subscribe for more immigration updates and legal guidance. Click the like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below if you're currently navigating these delays. We read every message and want to support this community. Stay informed, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.